afternoon, students. Here we start with the embryology lecture of development of the stomach. In the lecture embryology of the development of stomach, the stomach will develop as a fusiform dilatation from the lower part of the foregut. So it will develop as a fusiform dilatation from the lower part of the foregut. Now, this stomach will have initially ventral and dorsal border. Then gradually what will happen will be the dorsal border of the stomach, that is the posterior border of the stomach, will enlarge rapidly, and it will enlarge in such a way that its development and growth will be more than the ventral border, as a result of which the dorsal border of the stomach, remember the dorsal border of the fusiform dilatation of the stomach, it will gradually develop into fundus and greater curvature. So here we draw the fundus as well as the greater curvature, and this will continue as duodenum. So this will continue as duodenum. This is the greater curvature, this entire, and this is the fundus. And together this fundus and greater curvature of the stomach has developed from the enlargement of the dorsal border of the stomach. Because initially the stomach is developing as a fusiform dilatation from lower part of the foregut. Now the ventral border. This ventral border, the entire ventral border, in this, the pyloric portion, there is a pylorus, the pyloric portion of the stomach is pushed in the ventral direction. It is pushed in the ventral direction, the pyloric part of the stomach. As a result of which, the ventral border will have lesser curvature. It will assume lesser curvature. So this becomes the lesser curvature. Now, to show this in cross section, this is a sagittal section, what we have drawn as of stomach and the containing part duodenum. Now please come here. If I want to show, this is the fusiform dilatation of stomach, this is ventral border, this is dorsal border. Now the ventral and dorsal borders of the stomach, they are connected to anterior and posterior abdominal wall. Supposing over here, this is the anterior abdominal wall, over here, this is the posterior abdominal wall. They are connected with the help of ventral mesogastrium and dorsal mesogastrium. So therefore, here I will show that there will be the fold of ventral mesogastrium connecting ventral border of stomach to anterior abdominal wall. And I will show the fold of dorsal mesogastrium here, which will connect the dorsal border of stomach to the posterior abdominal wall. Remember, this is a cross section. Now it so happens that in the ventral mesogastrium, which is connecting ventral border of stomach to the anterior abdominal wall, there will be development of liver. The rudiments of liver will develop here in the form of hepatic buds. So liver will develop over here, and therefore if I show the liver, I will show that there will be the presence of, if I show in this format, this will be liver in the ventral mesogastrium. Similarly, in the dorsal mesogastrium, on the left hand side of dorsal mesogastrium, there will be development of another structure, and that structure will be the spleen. Now, the liver will divide, rather it will divide the entire ventral mesogastrium, this entire ventral mesogastrium into two segments. The portion of ventral mesogastrium from anterior abdominal wall to liver, that portion will be known as, or rather it will develop into the coronary and falciform ligaments of liver, the falciform and coronary ligaments of liver. That is the portion of ventral mesogastrium from anterior abdominal wall to the liver. It will lead to development of these two ligaments of liver. And the portion of ventral mesogastrium between liver and ventral border of stomach, that will lead to development of lesser omentum. So lesser omentum will connect the liver with the lesser curvature or ventral border of stomach. Now, dorsal mesogastrium. We know that spleen is developing in its left side of the dorsal mesogastrium. So therefore, this spleen will divide the dorsal mesogastrium into the first segment. The portion of dorsal mesogastrium between dorsal border of stomach and the spleen will develop into gastrosplenic ligament. So this will become the gastrosplenic ligament. And remember, this entire fold is dorsal mesogastrium. This is the entire fold. So the portion of dorsal mesogastrium between dorsal border of stomach and spleen develops into gastrosplenic ligament. And the portion of dorsal mesogastrium between spleen and posterior abdominal wall, where it will cover the left kidney here, that much portion will lead to development of lino-renal ligament. These questions are asked so many times in MCQs or one mark question answer, rather in Viva also. What is the development of these ligaments? Gastrosplenic, lino-renal, and the ligaments of the liver. Very simple, one sentence answer only. What is the development of gastrosplenic ligament? It is developed from the part of dorsal mesogastrium between dorsal border of stomach and spleen. What is the development of lino-renal ligament? It is developed from the part of dorsal mesogastrium between spleen and posterior abdominal wall. Now, please come on this side. If we want to focus here, now here if I want to show ventral mesogastrium, then I will show this is the ventral mesogastrium connecting ventral border of the foregut. Ventral border of the foregut. Now remember that ventral border of the stomach. This ventral mesogastrium is developed from septum transversum. The entire ventral mesogastrium connecting ventral border of stomach will be developed from septum transversum only. Now it is in this ventral mesogastrium that we show the development of liver. So here this becomes the liver. So therefore, the portion of ventral mesogastrium in front of liver, here it will be converted into falciform and coronary ligaments, this portion. And the portion of ventral mesogastrium here, where my hand is there, between liver and lesser curvature of stomach, this portion will be converted or it will develop into lesser omentum. So this is how the lesser omentum will develop. Lesser omentum. Portion of ventral mesogastrium, the portion of ventral mesogastrium between liver and the ventral border of stomach. This ventral border will become lesser curvature of stomach. So it is converted into or it is developed into lesser omentum. Similarly here, if I want to show dorsal mesentery, then this becomes the dorsal mesentery connecting the dorsal border of the stomach to the posterior abdominal wall. This becomes the dorsal mesentery. Now, this dorsal border of stomach, we know that it becomes the greater curvature of stomach. And within this dorsal mesentery, there will be development of one structure, and that structure will be spleen. So therefore, the part of dorsal mesentery, that is the dorsal mesogastrium. Dorsal mesentery is itself dorsal mesogastrium. Remember, dorsal mesentery is nothing but dorsal mesogastrium in stomach. So what is dorsal mesentery? That we have understood in the general consideration of embryology lectures, development of the alimentary system, that the entire dorsal border of foregut, midgut, hindgut, the entire dorsal border of the gut tube, foregut, midgut and hindgut is connected to posterior abdominal wall with the help of dorsal mesentery. So here, that particular dorsal mesentery is now known as dorsal mesogastrium. The portion of dorsal mesentery connecting posterior abdominal wall to the dorsal border of the stomach, to the greater curvature of stomach. That much portion is called dorsal mesogastrium, in which the spleen is developing. Now, the portion between stomach and spleen, that portion, this much portion will be known as gastrosplenic ligament. And the portion between spleen and dorsal abdominal wall or posterior abdominal wall, this portion over here will be known as lino-renal ligament. So this portion will be known as lino-renal ligament. Very simple. Now if we concentrate in this diagram, please come on this side, we are able to understand this diagram. Here what happens is that if we now try and understand, this will connect the liver and one side of the stomach, and it will continue and cover the spleen and will be on the left side. Now here the peritoneum reflection will be on the liver, then on the stomach, and then it will continue like this. This is before the rotation of stomach. Now we are coming to second stage, rotation of stomach. We have developed ventral and dorsal mesogastrium, we have developed the liver and the spleen, and we have developed the various ligaments of liver and the various ligaments of spleen. Now remember, all these developmental structures, this diagram itself is before the rotation of stomach. Now what happens? The entire stomach will undergo 90 degrees of rotation on the right side. This 90 degrees of rotation on the right side. So therefore, the original left surface of stomach will become ventral surface, and the original right surface of the stomach here will become dorsal surface. We are going to draw. And very important, two nerves are related here. If I draw here, left vagus nerve, right vagus nerve. When these surfaces are converted into ventral and dorsal surface, when the left surface of the stomach will become the ventral surface, then the left vagus nerve, this is the left vagus nerve, it becomes the anterior vagus nerve. And when the right surface of stomach after 90 degrees of rotation, when it becomes dorsal surface, then the right vagus nerve here, this will be known as posterior vagal trunk. This is the importance. So therefore here I can mark this as the right vagus nerve and this as the left vagus nerve. So the right and the left vagus nerves. Now we want to show 90 degrees rotation of the stomach. So please come on this side. Now we will utilize this much of the board. Thank you. Here we will show that the stomach, this is the stomach now after rotation. And we will show over here, this structure becomes the spleen. And we will show over here, I hope this much is there. Okay. Here we will show that here there will be the liver. Now, very interesting, the stomach initially has rotated. It was first in a mid-sagittal way, fusiform dilatation, in which there was ventral and dorsal border. Now, after 90 degrees rotation, how is it rotated? The stomach has rotated 90 degrees to the right. As it has rotated 90 degrees to the right, what has happened is the left surface has become this ventral surface of stomach, and the right surface has become the dorsal surface of the stomach. What about the nerves? The left vagus nerve will come to lie here. It will supply anterior superior surface of the stomach, so it becomes the anterior vagal nerve. And the right vagus nerve will come to lie at the posterior inferior surface of the stomach, where it will supply the posterior inferior surface of the stomach, and it becomes the posterior vagal trunk. So here we will give the name this as anterior vagal nerve, and this becomes the posterior vagal nerve. MCQs, one mark question answer. Left vagus nerve becomes anterior and right posterior. Now the ligaments. Here we show that the covering ligaments, very simple, do not complicate. This will be the covering ligaments. This is how the ligaments shall be covered. One on the left side, then the gastrosplenic ligament, and then the lienorenal ligament, and then it will continue in line the lateral abdominal wall. Over here, same way, it will continue gastrosplenic, lienorenal, and then it will continue on the right side. So in this way, this cross section we have studied so many times in gross anatomy lectures of the horizontal folds of peritoneum. But this is how the development of the stomach will take place, and similarly the development of these ligaments, gastrosplenic, lienorenal. So this will be known as now the gastrosplenic ligament, and this ligament will be now known as lienorenal ligament. And the cavity which has been formed here because of the reflection of these peritoneal folds, which we understood in the horizontal section of the peritoneal reflections in the gross anatomy lectures. Because of that reflections, this cavity which is formed is known as lesser sac or omental bursa. This much cavity. Now we come to third stage. In second stage, we have observed the rotation of stomach 90 degrees to the right side, and therefore how the anterior and the ventral surface, that is anterior surface, and posterior surface, that is dorsal surface of the stomach, is developed. Original left surface becomes the ventral surface, and original right surface becomes the dorsal surface, and how left vagus is then known as anterior vagus and right vagus as posterior vagus. Now, in the third stage, what are the factors that cause this rotation of the stomach? The factors that cause the 90 degrees right side rotation of the stomach are three factors. Those factors, if I mention here, factor number 1. There will be enormous increase in size of the right lobe of liver. So, enormous increase in size of the right lobe of the liver. What will happen? Because of that enormous increase in the growth of the right lobe of liver, the spleen will be pushed to the left side. As a result of the enormous growth of the right lobe of liver and the spleen which is pushed to the left side, there will be 90 degrees rotation of the stomach on the right side. That is one reason, one factor why stomach rotates 90 degrees on the right side. Second reason, second factor will be the omental bursa, that is the lesser sac, is pushed dorsal to the stomach, posterior to the stomach. Because of pushing of the lesser sac or because of extending or extension, proper word is extension. So because of the extension of lesser sac posterior to the stomach, dorsal to the stomach, and in the left direction, there will be this rotation of the stomach, and therefore caudally the dorsal mesogastrium, it will extend caudally and become the folds of greater omentum. Try and understand this second factor. Once again, we start with lesser sac, and here I am going to write down, because of the extension of lesser sac where dorsal to the stomach, posterior to the stomach in the left direction, and because of that, what will happen? The stomach will rotate 90 degrees on the right side, and as a result of that, the dorsal mesogastrium, which is present here, will be extended in the caudal direction below the stomach in the form of layers of greater omentum. So greater omentum layers are derived from dorsal mesogastrium only. And how it is derived? Because of the extension of this cavity of lesser sac or cavity of omental bursa towards the left, dorsal to the stomach. And this is one of the reasons for rotation of the stomach 90 degrees to the right side. Second factor, second reason. Now third reason, coming to the third reason. Now the third reason will be, there will be active growth factors. This is very important. There will be active growth factors which are taking place regularly within the intraembryonic stage of the developing fetus. So because of these active growth processes which are happening in the fetus, there will be 90 degrees rotation of the stomach to the right side, and because of that also there will be the lesser sac omental bursa cavity which will extend to the left, dorsal to the stomach. That is the third factor, active growth factors that are taking place in the embryo in fetal stage. That is the third factor or third reason for 90 degrees rotation of stomach on the right side. So we have completed third stage of rotation of the stomach and the factors or reasons why the rotation of stomach occurs. Now congenital anomalies of stomach, only one we need to understand, that is congenital hypertrophic pyloric stenosis. Please note down, congenital hypertrophic pyloric stenosis. This is one congenital anomaly in stomach. What is it? Basically, there will be thickening of circular muscle fibers at the pyloric end of the stomach. And because of the thickening of circular muscle fibers at pyloric end of the stomach, there will be neuromuscular incoordination. Rather, there will be neuromuscular incoordination which will result in the thickening of the circular muscle fibers at the pyloric end of the stomach. As a result of which, the children will have several symptoms of vomiting sensations, and this will take place exactly at between 2 weeks to 2 months of postnatal life of children. So between 2 weeks to 2 months of postnatal life of children, these symptoms are there, and this anomaly, congenital anomaly, is detected, and that is because of neuromuscular incoordination. In that, what happens will be, there will be thickening of the circular musculature of the pyloric end of the stomach. So it is known as congenital hypertrophic pyloric stenosis. So here we complete the entire development of the stomach. Thank you very much.